You feel separate from the room you're in, from the air around you, from the world outside your skin. It feels obvious. You are here. Everything else is out there, but this feeling may be one of the strongest illusions your mind has ever created. At no point are you truly isolated from your surroundings. Energy flows through you constantly. Particles pass in and out of your body. Forces connect you to everything nearby, whether you notice them or not. The boundary you feel so clearly is not drawn by physics. It is drawn by perception. And once you begin to question that boundary, something unsettling happens. The line between you and the universe starts to blur. So if you are not as separate as you think, where does you actually end? From the moment you become aware of yourself, the world teaches you a simple lesson. There is you, and there is everything else. Your skin becomes the border. Inside it feels personal, controlled, familiar. Outside it feels distant, unpredictable, foreign. This distinction feels so natural that we rarely question it. You move your hand, and it responds. You feel pain inside your body, not outside it. Your thoughts seem private, sealed off from the world. Language reinforces this division. My body, my thoughts, my space. We speak as if the self is an object, contained neatly within physical boundaries. Biology encourages the same idea. Your nervous system is designed to prioritize signals coming from within your skin. It treats external inputs as potential threats or resources, and internal signals as you. This makes separation feel necessary. If you couldn't tell where you ended and the environment began, you couldn't survive. So your brain draws a clear line. Not because physics demands it, but because survival does. Over time, this line hardens into identity. You don't just feel separate. You are separate, or so it seems. The world becomes something you interact with, not something you are part of. Even science, at first glance, seems to agree. We study objects as isolated systems. We talk about bodies, forces, interactions, as if they occur between distinct entities. This perspective is useful. It works remarkably well at human scales. But usefulness is not the same as truth. The sense of separation you experience is a model, a simplified story your mind tells. To navigate a complex world, and like all models, it hides as much as it reveals. Because beneath that clear boundary is a level of reality where separation becomes harder to define. And once you begin to look there, the certainty of you versus the universe starts to quietly dissolve. Now let's test that boundary you feel so clearly, the one drawn around your body, the one separating inside from outside. At first, it seems solid, but look closer. At no moment are you sealed off from the world. Right now, air molecules are entering your lungs and becoming part of you. A moment later, different molecules leave your body and return to the environment. Heat constantly flows outward from your skin. Energy radiates away, mixing with the space around you. Your body is never energetically isolated. It is always exchanging. Even the particles that make up you are not permanent. Atoms in your body are replaced over time. Cells die and are rebuilt. Matter passes through you continuously. The you of 10 years ago is not made of the same material as the you of today. And the connection goes deeper than matter. Forces do not stop at your skin. Electromagnetic fields extend beyond your body. Gravity links you to the entire planet beneath your feet. Even distant objects in the universe exert an influence on you, however small. There is no sharp edge where interaction suddenly ends. Only regions where it becomes weaker. What feels like separation is actually a gradient, a smooth transition from strong interaction to weak interaction. Physics does not recognize hard boundaries. the way our minds do. It describes relationships, not isolated things. This means the border you identify as yourself is not a physical wall. It is a useful approximation, a place where interactions become dense enough for your brain to label them as me. Beyond that, interactions continue, just less intensely. So the universe does not connect to you only when you reach out and touch it. You are already connected, continuously, inevitably. And once you see this, the idea of being fully separate becomes difficult to maintain, because separation, in the physical sense, never truly occurs. Let's try a simple thought experiment. Take a slow breath in. The air enters your lungs. Oxygen passes into your blood. In just a few seconds, what was outside becomes part of you. Now ask yourself this: at what exact moment did that air stop being the world and start being you? Was it when it crossed your lips, your lungs, your bloodstream? There is no clear answer, because the boundary keeps moving. Now consider heat. Your body is warmer than the room around you. That warmth is constantly flowing outward. Right now, energy that was once part of you is spreading into the environment. Did it stop being you the instant it left your skin? Or did it gradually fade into the world? Again, there is no sharp line. Now consider information. Light reflects off your surroundings and enters your eyes. Sound waves move through the air and become electrical signals in your brain. The world is continuously imprinting itself onto you, and you are continuously imprinting yourself onto it. Thoughts change breathing. Breathing changes posture. Posture changes the space around you. Nothing happens in isolation. Now imagine trying to draw the boundary precisely, not conceptually, physically. You quickly discover that every line you draw is arbitrary, too close to your body, and you exclude things that clearly influence you. Too far away, and you include parts of the universe you barely notice. The problem is not that the boundary is hidden, it's that there isn't one. In the way you imagine, there are only overlapping processes, nested interactions, flows of matter, energy, and information, moving at different rates and intensities. Your sense of being a separate entity comes from focusing on the densest part of that flow, the region where interactions are strongest, most immediate, and most relevant to survival. But that focus creates an illusion. It makes a process feel like an object. It makes continuity feel like division. You are not a thing sitting inside the universe. You are an ongoing interaction within it, a temporary pattern that maintains its shape while everything inside it changes. And once you see yourself this way, the question is no longer, where do I touch the universe? It becomes, how could I ever be separate from it? If the boundary between you and the universe is not physically real, then why does it feel so convincing? The answer lies in your brain. Your nervous system did not evolve to reveal the true structure of reality. It evolved to keep you alive. To do that, it needs a simplified model. It needs to know what to protect, what to move, what to avoid. So the brain constructs a center, a reference point, where sensations are grouped together and treated as me. Pain inside the skin matters more than pain outside it. Signals from your body are prioritized. Everything else is background. This creates the experience of a self, located somewhere behind your eyes, looking out at the world. But this self is not a thing. It is a process, a constantly updated model that integrates sensation, memory, intention, and prediction. When that model is working well, you feel unified, continuous, separate. But notice what happens when the model is disrupted. In deep meditation, the sense of self can soften or dissolve. In certain neurological conditions, the boundary between self and world becomes unstable. In moments of extreme focus or awe, people report feeling merged with their surroundings. These are not mystical anomalies. They are cracks in the model. They reveal that the feeling of being a separate observer is something the brain does, not something the universe enforces. The self feels solid because it is useful, because it allows rapid decision-making, because it organizes experience around survival. But usefulness is not the same as fundamentality. Just as stillness, emptiness, and absolute separation turn out to be approximations, the self may be one as well. A powerful approximation, a necessary one, but still an interpretation. And once you recognize that, another question quietly emerges. If the self is a model and not a hard boundary, then what exactly is it a model of? At this point, a different picture begins to emerge. You are not a fixed object moving through a separate world. You are something that is happening. What you call your body is a pattern of matter that holds its shape while constantly exchanging its contents. What you call your mind is a pattern of activity that persists while its individual thoughts come and go. Nothing about you is static. Cells are replaced. Molecules flow through you. Electrical signals rise and fade. Even your sense of identity changes over time. Yet through all this change, something feels continuous. Not because the pieces remain the same, but because the pattern does. This is how processes exist. A whirlpool in a river is not a thing. It has no permanent particles. And yet, it is real. It persists as long as the flow continues. In the same way, you are a stable pattern within a larger flow. The universe does not surround you. It passes through you. The forces that shape stars also shape your body. The same physics that governs galaxies governs your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts. There is no clean cut where the universe stops and you begin. There is only a region where interactions become dense enough to feel like a self. And when that region dissolves, even briefly, the feeling of separation fades with it. You do not stand apart from reality. You are one of the ways. Reality organizes itself, so the boundary you feel so strongly may never have been a physical line. It may have always been a story, a useful one, a necessary one, but still a story your brain tells to make sense of constant interaction. You are not a thing sealed off from the universe. You are a process within it, a temporary pattern formed by matter, energy, and information, flowing together for a while. This does not make you smaller. It makes you more connected than you ever imagined. Because what you call you is not standing apart from reality. It is one expression of it. And that leaves us with a final question. If you are not truly separate from the universe, and the boundary you feel is an illusion, then where do you think you actually begin?